Hi folks, Vortex here. Welcome to my review of the TRI i3 Pro. I have not tried the original i3 model, which is meant to be a larger shell. I have not tried that one. And as usual, the disclaimer is I bought this myself from the KB AliExpress store. I was not paid to do this video, and other thoughts and opinions are my own. And the main reason why I bought this is because it has quite a funky driver setup with a dynamic driver, a planar driver and a balanced armature, which is the same setup as the older, larger discontinued models. But as this is quite a funky setup and the packaging looks pretty good, that's why I'm showing you. Yeah, let's just get into it. So here's just a closer look at it. The colours change. Really nice packaging. First thing I've seen like that. Nice job, TRI. And TRI, if you don't know, are a sister company to KB here. And TRI is the more upmarket kind of model, well, range, shall we say. So obviously I read the one that's in English, a TRI i3 Pro. Like I said in the intro, I haven't tried the non-Pro. And yeah, so impedance 15 ohm and sensitivity is 103. Now, because this has got a planar, it's a bit harder to power. You don't need anything crazy to like run it, but it does benefit from some sort of amplification. And the cable material is copper. And yeah, let's see what this is like inside. So when you actually just take that kind of top lid off, you actually get this. So really nice case. I'll get to those bad boys in a bit. So yeah, leather case, really nice kind of build, looks familiar. I think they've used this on something else before, maybe a different colour, but it does look familiar. So get all this stuff out, kind of like a felt. Nice case. So you get a cleaning brush, tips. There should be 2 mediums fitted, more tips. I like how they got different colours, so you can separate left to right easy. So tips and tips. Probably some sort of microfiber cloth to clean those off, because I bet they're going to be a fingerprint magnet when I get to them. So it comes with a cloth. Nice cable. I'll show you that in the next clip. I'll unravel this cable. Looks pretty good. So English and Chinese, the use of earphone nuts matters needing attention. Pot earphone method. Earphone check, warranty service, no warranty. Warranty card, yeah. Let's get these out. They're actually quite light. But like the to the original O3, these are smaller. So yeah, fingerprint magnet. So 2-pin. Take one of these off. So it does have a nozzle to keep it on. Smaller than I expected. I don't have really anything in comparison next to me, but these are not large. Say focuses. See fingerprints, which is a bit of a shame. They don't say L or R. They don't say any branding on them whatsoever, which is, I don't mind. And yeah, so in the next clip, they look pretty nice. So in the next clip, I'll have a good look at the cable. It does look pretty good. And obviously, through the power of time and editing, I'm going to put a lot of hours on these. And yeah, so in seconds you'll see what I'm about to do next, and then obviously onto the review of those. As you say, before I get onto that, I was quite looking forward to this because of the driver technology, but like I said earlier, this may need a bit more power to get the best out of them, I suppose, being because planars are typically more inefficient. So yeah, let's see what the cable's like. So just like I said, a closer look at the cable. Obviously 3.5 straight connector, got the brand there, TRI, strain relief there. Really nice, kind of, it's not too thick, it's got a slight thickness to the cable, really soft and it's kind of supple. quite a nice. There's a little bit of a kink there. Hopefully it straightens out in use. Apart from that, it's a nice cable. Wide split there. It's got the brand there. It's got a chin slider if you need to use those type of things. Straight down to the edges. So it's good that I like they've gone for 2-pin. Some people like MMCX, but I don't. So that's the kind of clear on. There's a blue dot there to know the orientation. That one's red obviously, and a blue dot again for the orientation. But yeah, as you can see, quite a nice cable. I think some people wanted choice for when they buy a cable, well, buy a model from them. Not everybody likes to use 3.5, but then again, in the audio space, 3.5, especially gears, portable gears, still more portable, more of a preference. Some people do like 4.4 and 2.5 more, which I understand. But anyway, this comes with a 3.5 cable. So yeah, so like through the power of time, I'm going to put a load of hours on the i3 Pro. Then I'll be back with the review, which for you will be in a few seconds. So see you in a bit. But yeah, good stuff. So yeah, guys, straight into the review of the TRI i3 Pro, and actually into a negative as well. Fingerprint magnet or finger grease magnet is probably the best way to say it. That's why they do include that cloth that you saw in the actual unboxing. It serves a purpose. To me, not really a big deal. Some people may bother them, but as you can see what it's like. You can just wipe it off. It's all good to go. Yeah, I'm going to get straight into the comfort while I'm on about the shell. Comfort on these is actually very good. I did not try the original ones, the non-pro. These are meant to be a smaller shell, and I've had no issues with comfort. I heard some people had issues with comfort on the larger shell, the older one, but these are all good. So yeah, comfort, fit. These are actually lighter than they look, considering it's a metal shell. No issues at all, really. And yeah, so no issues. Obviously 2-pin, some venting there. Quite nice. I like that they're quite subtle, that there's no other markings or anything like that. So yeah, all good. So soundstage, against soundstage, very wide, very 3D presentation. I don't know if that's the planar or the BA, but they do sound big, which is great, and they also have very good imaging, which again is what you want. It's not perfect, but you could use these for, well, I don't really use IEMs for gaming, but these are quite good for some fun gaming, shall we say. Not overly competitive, but you know, pretty fun, exciting gaming. These are probably good for that. Powering them, so as these are a Tribrid with a BA, a DD and the planar, they do need a little bit more power. Out of a phone, I don't really recommend them, but they don't need a power station either to run them. But I did do most of my testing on my Topping L30 amp on low gain, and where it was set is where I normally use IEMs. So they're not they're not power hungry, but they do require a little bit of juice. They're not like the Tin T ones, I think. Or sorry, Tin P one, which I heard are extremely power hungry. These are not like that. Again, I had no issues. Isolation was okay. It wasn't the best, obviously, because they're vented. It's good enough, shall we say. And yeah, what should I say? Let's get on to sound. So I'm going to overlay a graph now of both sides. So I graphed both sides. As you can see, it's blue and green. As you can also see, the driver matching between them is actually very good, as in really, really close. Slightly differs when you get, I think, over 5k. But as you can see from the sound signature, these are starting from the lows. They are quite lean on the mid bass, which I do like. Then they are more sub bass focused. As you can see, there's an elevation from 300 where it starts to rise, shall we say, 300 to 400. These are fun sounding IEMs on the whole, as you can see from the graph. They're not neutral or flat or anything like that, but they are quite fun. I said the mids Before I get to mids, the actual dynamic, the driver, the view seems to be quite competent in performing the low frequencies, so I've got no real issues at all with the low frequency at all. So yeah, it goes very smooth into the mids, as you can see. Maybe they are a little recessed, as you can see, but I think the planar hands the mids. I'm not quite sure. I presume that's its job, but I can't confirm that. And then it does rise at about 2K, so that means female vocals, and any higher pitched male vocals are more forward. But I found the mids very smooth. On the whole, they are quite smooth earphones, and then obviously you can see it raises at like to 2K and to 3K. It looks quite prominent, but they don't sound like that, really. They're not shouty, they're not harsh or nothing like that. They're just a bit forward, not overly forward. But some instruments like cymbals, hi-hats, instruments of that kind are a little bit forward. Then it does never. This is one of the negatives, apart from the fingerprints, is the treble dip. Now, personally, I prefer to have a little bit too less than a little bit too much, really. It's kind of a safe tuning in that kind of region of the frequency response. I had no issues with it. They don't sound dark, that's the kind of only thing. They do sound fairly balanced when you are using them. You know, if you've never seen a graph and you're pairing them properly, they do sound quite balanced. But on a graph, they are, as you can see, there's a dip in the treble. I don't mind that, they don't really sound like that. And then there's that peak at 8K, that's from the actual coupler. And yeah, so that's the graph. So let's get back onto what these i3 Pros look like. Again, lighter than what you'd actually expect, which is fine. Resolution, I thought on these is actually pretty good, and micro details as well was also very good. Again, the idea of this is to get the best out of each one. So for the mids, they've used the planar, I presume, to get the smoothness and the speed of it. And they've used the BAs to get like the little details. Then obviously they used the DD, like a kind of a subwoofer, just for the lows. But I think it works very well, and they are actually very coherent. I've tried this in a lot of different genres, and it seems to work well on quite a few. One thing I didn't try on was rock or metal or anything like that, but I do typically prefer like EDM, things like that. I've watched a couple of films with this since I did the unboxing, and everything sounds alive, and quite the actual low end sounds very impactful. As you can see, I probably actually quite like these a lot. It's a shame I don't have the original non-pros. That would have been a good comparison, but obviously they are discontinued. And I think that's pretty much it, really. On the whole, I do like what they've done. They do sound very coherent between the drivers. 3 different driver technologies can sometimes be a mess. These are not that at all. They've done a very good job of blending it kind of all together. And I'm quite curious to see what they do next after this. Ignoring the Starlight ones, the really expensive one, to see like what's the incarnation after these. I'm quite curious. But yeah, on the whole, they are a fun sounding, maybe U-shaped kind of sound. But again, it's not bloaty bass, it's more sub bass. But on the whole, I do like what they've done. It's not perfect like the fingerprint magnet that they are, and that treble dip, so it's not for treble heads. But I like I said, I prefer it to be a little bit too less than too much. So that's probably my preference. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, on the whole, they're not too bad at all. They do take, say, I wouldn't recommend a phone to do them. Maybe if you got a decent LG that's got one of them Saber DACs in it. But anything you can throw more power at, these obviously will scale better from it. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Anything as usual, just let me know in the comments. And yeah, nice job, TRI. Let's see what they do next. So thanks for watching, and take care.